I've been promising you that we were going to do this, and the day is finally here. Let's make deodorant that is a little better for you and actually works. This is Laura Krumzak with the Disney Slowdown, and I don't know about you, but I have industrial strength hits, and it is difficult to find deodorant that actually works for me, commercial or natural. I found a couple of natural deodorants that do really well for me, but then they're so expensive. They're like $13 a stick. That's a little bit too much for my heart to handle. So I started making my own deodorant several years ago. A friend of mine who's an oily person had a deodorant and I liked it and it worked, but I wanted to make it more of a commercial grade consistency and I wasn't quite sure how to do that. I'm not a fan when natural deodorant is more paste-like and then you have to rub it in with your hands because then you get that all over yourself. I mean, it is shea butter and coconut oil. I don't want that greasy feeling all over me. Plus, it does wash out, but you will get oil stains underneath your armpits. I didn't like that either. So I've been working on this formula for quite some time, and I think I finally have it down. Now, I will tell you that your investment in some of these ingredients is going to be $30, $40. If you're like me, you already have coconut oil at home, baking soda, cornstarch. So those you can just pull out of your cabinet. But I bought beeswax. I got these off of Amazon. I bought a brick of shea butter, also off of Amazon. And the secret ingredient is the nourishing cocoa butter. This is the stuff that's going to give it more of that smooth glide feel. This one I believe I picked up at our local natural store. You could probably also get it off of Amazon. I'll have to look and I'll make sure that I put my link for the Amazon products in the description box below for you in case you want to make your own. I did find some cocoa butter wafers, and I think I like these better because one, they're wafers, you're not digging them out of the jar, as you'll soon see, and these are deodorized, which means they're not going to smell like chocolate in whatever it is you put them in. Another thing that I purchased off of Amazon were these empty deodorant containers. You can reuse some deodorant containers that you already have. However, when you get to the bottom of your deodorant container, you've got to make sure that you have a solid base. A lot of the commercial deodorants do not have a solid base. I don't think I would use that because you are going to pour this into the container. Make sure that you have the base in. I have done that before. That's always fun. And you can bring it all the way down. This recipe will make about 2.5 of these big containers. And when I was playing around with it, or other people wanted to try it, I did buy these smaller containers. I've also used this when you run out of deodorant, it's getting to the very bottom and you're digging it out. Am I the only one that does that? But I'm digging it out. I'm removing this piece and I'm trying to get all the stuff that's like collected down at the bottom because it's got holes in it. So a lot of the deodorant goes to the bottom. It's not even on the stick. What I did was I scraped it all out, kind of melted it a little bit, and I put it in one of these and just kept pushing it down. So then I had an extra stick of deodorant for my park bag and I get to use it all and I don't have to get it all over my hands. Plus I've got a couple people who want to try this. So I'm going to make a couple of these and then I'll probably at least have enough for 1, if not 2 sticks of actual deodorant. I'm so excited. The other thing you're going to need is oil or fragrance. Now, my oily friend had a blend. It's called Purification. This is from Young Living. I am not a Young Living distributor. It was just one that she had. I have tried other purification blends from other companies and they didn't work as well for me. So this is the one that I continue to buy. You know I can't read this. Let me see what's in it. This one has citronella, rosemary, lemongrass, tea tree, myrtle. I thought there was something else in there. Okay, well, this is surprising. I thought this had different ingredients in it, but whatever they are, they work. Rosemary and obviously tea tree, those are both good disinfectant type of oils. And yes, I had to take a picture of the label and blow it up on my phone. Are you there too? That's where I live. Anyway, it works for me. So this is what I'm going to keep using. Now, the fragrance, it doesn't really have a strong fragrance. fragrance, and you can put other fragrances in there. This time I have a jasmine fragrance, a little bit of floral. I have a pear fragrance, and those pair really those pair really well together. And I'm going to add vanilla, just a little bit. These drop, and I don't want to overpower with the vanilla, so I have a pipette. You can buy these. We had something else that had this, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be perfect for any of my extracts that I cook with. So this is what we use instead of just trying to pour it, because pouring it never works for me. Let's get started.
I like to get all of my ingredients and utensils laid out ready to go in one place.
2 tablespoons of beeswax, 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. I might only do 3. And I would get a clean paper towel so you can wipe that off. About a tablespoon of shea butter. I do not recommend the unrefined because it has an odor to it. And honestly, I just kind of break it off. It's a little messy. I'm going to melt all this in the microwave anyway, so it's okay to clean your fingers off. Maybe I'll put a little more. You can just rub it into your hands. Makes a nice lotion. Now this cocoa butter, this stuff is, you have to pre-warm this up before you can even scrape it out. It's ridiculously hard. I usually put it in the microwave, power at about 50%. Let's do 1 minute because it needs some time. It also smells like chocolate, which is not bad at all. It's still very hard. I'm gonna have to put it at 70%. You can see it's starting to get softer, but it still needs more time. I'm not gonna sit here and shave it off. It smells like chocolate. I am not sad about that. A little bit in there, it's not gonna hurt you, but see, like after all that, I've only got about a half. I'm gonna do it some more. So now I've done 1 full minute at 70% for that cocoa butter. That is crazy. That's about 1. I just want to make sure that I put enough in there so that we get the firm deodorant that we want and not a paste. Okay, that should do it. Pop this in the microwave. It needs to melt completely. This is where I will wash and dry my tablespoon because I don't really want to get oil all over my baking soda and cornstarch. You're also going to want a spatula to mix everything up. And you can see that it's not quite fully melted. That beeswax really needs to be melted or it will re-solidify. And you don't want little beads of beeswax in your deodorant. But I do like to mix it. It's kind of like mixing chocolate. It needs to be stirred to melt it. That actually works better than the microwave sometimes. Also, might need a glove in case your mixing bowl gets hot.
If you're finding this video helpful, would you please like it, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you know when I post another video. And please share my channel to your friends. I really appreciate your support. I would love help getting the word out. I'm just here helping people have a good time. Thanks for your support.
There we go. Perfectly clear. Some people cannot use baking soda. Another option is arrowroot. I cannot use arrowroot. 2 tablespoons of baking soda or arrowroot, whichever you're using. If you're unsure which one will work for you, you might want to just divide it in half and try both ways. That's how I discovered that I could not do arrowroot. That's where these little containers would be perfect because you could do arrowroot baking soda. You could try different fragrances. I just want to make sure this is fully incorporated before I add my cornstarch. Baking soda is great for the odor, and cornstarch is great for the wetness. Sometimes if I have razor burn under my armpits, I will use our body cream, which has great healing properties for your skin, and I will mix a paste of cornstarch in our body cream and use it as deodorant. I have had to do that a couple of times. And we want 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. More cornstarch really just kind of makes it pasty. Let's stir this in. You want to add your fragrance last because the oil could evaporate if you heat it up or if you put it in first with your melted wax and coconut oil, shea butter, cocoa butter. Just trying to get all the lumps out. Okay, well, let's see how this feels. It does not feel as greasy. That is so nice. Oh, I'm so excited about this. All right, now I usually do 15 drops of purification and 1 for good measure, I guess. Okay, and then everything else is just going to be kind of a smell test. I can really smell the citronella in this, and I can smell the rosemary now that it's all stirred up. Okay, we're gonna add jasmine. I'm gonna start with 5. This is not oil, this is just a fragrance. Ooh, but I like that. That jasmine just comes through, and the rosemary and the citronella take a back seat. 5 is really good. I wish you could smell this. Oh, I love that. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple of the pear. This is an essence, just to give us a little sweet and fruity. I love pear too. And again, it's not an oil, it's a fragrance. I smell the jasmine, I smell the pear. I've got a hint of the citronella, which is just a little bit of your lemon. Okay, let's see if we can add vanilla and see what it does. No, well, I don't want that much. Come on already. That was a big drop of vanilla. I've not tried it with vanilla before. I think it needs more.
And what you're seeing is that my pipette dropped inside my vanilla bottle. So I fiddled with this stupid thing forever to get the pipette out. And in the meantime, my deodorant solidified, making this a little more interesting than I originally intended.
Now that my stuff is solid, yeah, I think I like that. Okay, here we go. If you do put it back in the microwave, just do it on 50%. There we go. Once it starts getting solid, it's harder to get it into the containers. Make sure that's in there, and sometimes you have to push it just to make sure it rolls down. Probably gonna have to melt my stuff again. Probably want to do this while your first ingredients are being melted in the microwave. So you can see. I'm going to melt this one more time and fill 2 more little containers. We are done. And for the last one, I just kind of compress it a little bit so you can make sure you get all the air bubbles out and then put it back down. Yes, it's making a mess. Just kind of smooth it out a bit. That'll be fine. So 1 full-sized and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half small ones.